Hey everybody, welcome back to Thistle Hill Farmstead. Today we're going to continue with our barn build, and we're going to be working on trimming out our Dutch doors, or our stall doors that will hold the Dutch doors. I've got some metal that's going to go around these doors, and that's going to be the chore for today, is to see if we can get that metal on. All right, so I got this metal trim. It's going to go around my door here. It's supposed to wrap around this. Obviously, I've got to cut it. I had given my metal guy my dimensions, but he just sent me a couple of 10-foot pieces. I was hoping he would cut them to length, but he didn't. But we can do that. It's not a problem. Let me bring these in. Let's measure and see what we need to go from here down to our bottom. Is 87 inches, it looks like. So I'm going to cut my center 87 inches, and I'll let the side pieces go on up a little more. All right, let's do that. Okie dokie, 87 inches. So, this is going to go to the outside and wrap around. So 87. All right. Let's see. So what I want to do is I'm going to cut this longer so that it will bend around and close off that. And this I'm going to let run up further. So let's see how far the dimension is on the other piece. Okay, the other dimension is 92. So let's go here. 92. So I'm going to cut that there. Oof, what's wrong? My marker giving out on me here. There we go, 92. Let's see if I can flip this over. Okay. So let's cut this. Like I said, I'm gonna bend it here. So I think that's maybe easier to cut with my. Get some safety glasses, some mirror protection. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right, and then I want to cut this back to here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can bend this back now. Get it here at the edge. All right, let's see how that does. Oh, let's see. I don't know which is the easiest way to put this in. There we go. Now I just got to get it wrapped around. Huh. Let's see. I don't want to cut it here because it's not going to wrap around that part. Okay. And it will wrap around here. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Okay. Okay, I trimmed that little notch off the corner there because it's not going to wrap around. Now, if I can get this to wrap around, let's see. Not quite sure how I'm going to get that around there. I didn't think about that. I'm going to have to get this side on first. And then go around. Okay. Let's see. Ouch. All right. There we go. All right. There we go. First piece on. Okay. It's not too bad. Probably could have been bent a little less, or a little more gap in there so it could wrap a little better, but I think that'll do. Okay. Okay, that's my first piece on. I'm not gonna fasten this down too much yet because I have to figure out where my door is gonna go. I need to get my rubber mallet. So I don't bang it up. Okay. Ta-da! There's one piece. All right. Alrighty, so here's the doors all trimmed out. Man, that was a little bit, I think I got a little overzealous on the wrapping because it wraps this 2x4 or 2x8 and then comes around and wraps here. Now, the reason I did this wide section here is because of these. See these hinges? If I'd have done a little short piece with a piece of J-channel, I would have had to come around that. I think it would have looked a little wonky. So I'm going to, put the hinge here and then put the J-channel out and just have a wider perimeter around that. But I've got it all together and wrapped. I was short one piece to go in this top section here. Again, when I talked to the metal guy, or when I ordered the metal, I ordered it by the piece, and I thought they were going to cut it to my specifications because I gave them the dimensions on everything. However, I guess they just added up the total length and sent me a bunch of 10-foot sections. So I have all this waste. So they sent me basically 6 10-foot sections, or actually 7 10-foot sections. So I had to use 6 for the door vertical parts, and I had to cut 1 in half to do the top. So I do have these pieces, and I guess I could seam it together in the center to make this, but I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to call him. They owe me some additional pieces anyway, so I'm going to call them and get those also. All right, that's it for the doors, or the trim around the Dutch doors that will be in the stalls. So again, another short video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I know I sound like a broken record, but that really helps drive traffic to our channel. The more likes we get, the more comments we get. So put the comments down in the comment section if you want. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. And once you do that, hit that little bell notification button so that anytime I post a new video, you'll get notified. Thanks again for joining us here at Thistle Hill Farmstead. We'll see you next time.